So welcome back, everybody. The purpose of this video today is to familiarize you with what you will need to do this week in order to successfully participate in an online peer review. And just to kind of remind ourselves where we've come from and the way this has worked in the past, I don't feel that I have been specific enough about the importance of peer review as it relates to what we're doing in class, which I think is why our last peer review was a little bit disorganized and the expectations maybe weren't as clear as they needed to be. So I want to make sure that expectations are super clear here, and also that we understand the purpose of this. So one of the responses that I received from many of you was I would just prefer to get comments from the teacher. And while you do have that opportunity in this class, in future writing classes you won't, right? So it's going to be important that you develop the tools needed to not only participate in online peer review, but also be thinking about what you can learn from peer review, because that is really the only opportunity that you will have in future writing classes to learn from each other. And one thing I want you to be thinking about is not only the comments you receive, but also what you can learn by looking at the writing of other students in the class. Now, before we talk through what this will look like, I wanted to take some time to contextualize with the homework that you have coming up due by Wednesday at midnight. You'll need to read Straub's really responding to student writing. And I really encourage you to annotate and think about how you can apply these ideas in the comments that you provide your peers. You need to view this video, which you are doing right now, so you can check that off the list. You need to submit a response to homework post number 2, which is now posted by Wednesday at midnight. And these questions relate to the Straub article. So just kind of checking and making sure that you're engaging with those ideas. If you have not yet had a chance to look at this video, I really recommend that you take the time to do that, because it really lays out what it is you need to do in your rhetorical response. And then you'll need to submit a partial draft of your rhetorical response for peer review. You only need to submit for Wednesday an introductory paragraph and 1 body paragraph. The final draft of your essay will be 3 paragraphs, and that won't be due for another week or so. So that is the homework that is due Wednesday at midnight. Now, I would like to specifically shift our focus to the online peer review instructions. And one of the things that I have done in order to really make sure that we are all engaging to the best of our ability is I've made the instructions very clear and specific. And I've also made this assignment worth a whole lot more points, because when you move into CO 150, peer review oftentimes is worth 10% of your grade. We're not going to necessarily go that far, but I do want us to start putting some more emphasis and value into our comments and the ways that we read each other's drafts. So the first part of the assignment is worth 25 points. You will submit your partial rough draft by midnight on Wednesday. You will need to have written at least 500 words to receive full credit. And then I will plan to group you manually by class time on Thursday. If you have not submitted by then, you won't be able to participate in workshop. And the reason for that is it's a very tedious process for me to group you. And if I get everyone into groups and then someone submits late, it just becomes really, really complicated, just based on how the software works. So in order to receive any credit on this assignment, make sure that you have posted a draft by class time on Thursday. once we hit that time, I will group you, and you will be assigned 2 drafts to review. You'll need to submit comments to both of those peers by Friday at midnight. And what I'm going to do right now is take you through what all of this generally looks like on Canvas so that you kind of have a sense of what you're supposed to be looking at. All right, so here I am in student view, and I'm looking at modules, which has the homework due Wednesday and the homework due Friday, as well as some additional materials. These things are also posted on the calendar. But I open up my homework assignment. I see that I've already read Straub, watched this video. I've submitted my homework post. I have kind of, looked at this earlier on, and I have my draft and I'm ready to submit it. So I can just go straight to this assignment link and submit. And I've already actually submitted a document here to test some things out. So, so this is what you should see. And in a way, I think this is actually really similar to the assignments that you have submitted in the past. So it's really simple. Upload your document, submit the assignment. When you submit, you're not going to see the drafts that you need to review. You will see them sometime on Thursday. And what you'll need to do is go back to the assignment, open it up, and on the right hand side of your screen, you will see 2 different drafts that have been assigned to you. Now, in order to access those drafts, you'll need to click on them. Once the draft opens, it should bring you to the interface, which will allow you to make comments either in Canvas or to download the document itself. So when you click on the student's name, whose draft you are looking at, this is the interface that you should see, okay? And then you basically have 2 choices for offering feedback. You can give them comments in Canvas, and there are some tools for this up here in Crocodoc, so you can, make your little comments. Right? And then everything stays in Canvas. The other option you have, if you feel more comfortable working in Word or working with a PDF, is to download their draft to your computer, provide comments, and then re-upload it. So the draft should be right over here. You can simply download it, hitting that. And then when you're ready to upload the saved draft with your comments on it, you can do it right here. So you can just attach that file. And then in terms of the requirements for the comments that you have, one of the requirements is to provide an end note where you're kind of summarizing the author's strengths and how they could improve. You can either do that as a large comment at the bottom, or you can include that comment here and hit submit. Okay, and we're going to circle back in just a minute in order to talk about what those expectations actually are in terms of the kind of comments. So once you've either uploaded your comments here or given them comments in Canvas, then you're finished, and Canvas notifies me that you've provided those comments, but I will also have the opportunity to kind of go through and see the kind of comments that you are giving. So this is why it's going to be super, super important for you to be aware of what my expectations are regarding the kinds of comments that you give, because in order for you to receive full credit on this, you do want to make sure that you are paying attention to those expectations. So this little paragraph here is super important. You will need to provide comments in the margin. I have often had students try to give all of their comments as one big long end note, and it just doesn't make as much sense to the reader as when you're actually attaching them to the side of the draft. So I'll be looking for 3 substantial comments per page, and if it's half a page, 1 to 2 comments, and also a final end comment which summarizes what they did well and what you think they could work on for revision. This is super important. If you aren't able to provide that sufficient feedback, you won't be able to receive full credit for this assignment. So I really want to emphasize the importance of taking the time and offering your peers what you know about this this assignment and text. A couple of resources that are going to help you out here is the article by Straub, which is why I had you read it. So if you're struggling to kind of figure out what you need to say or what you could say or how to say it, I think that's a really good starting place. And then I will also be including a checklist in the homework materials for Friday so that you can kind of take a look and see what kinds of things you want to be looking for, right? Like what kinds of things should you be looking for in your peer's introduction, and what kinds of things should you be looking for in the body paragraphs. So I'll make sure that that's really clear and all set to go before Friday when those comments are due. Really just make sure that you read through that before engaging in the peer review process, and that you're just familiar with all of the materials so that you're not giving feedback based on maybe expectations that aren't real, right? So make sure you've actually read through the resources and modules, watch the video, and have a really clear sense of what this assignment is expecting of you. If you still have questions, feel free to email me and let me know. I know that sometimes certain things get lost in translation across technology and distance, so I'm happy to respond to any confusion or questions that you have. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing your drafts by Wednesday at midnight, the very latest, class time Thursday, which is when I will group them. Best of luck with the peer review and writing process, and let me know what you need. Take care.